What it is, it's your boy Dutch the Damon, and you now watching Damon Time with Dutch. On today's episode of Prison Stories Uncut, we over East Baltimore in that Maryland penitentiary with it, man. Now, this situation took place over 20 some odd years ago, right? You had me down there trapped in that penitentiary. But before I jump off in the storytelling mode, I'm gonna need all my loyal subscribers to go ahead on over to YouTube and subscribe to Dutch the Damon Speaks. Don't cost you nothing. Only take you a couple seconds out the day. Now that we got that out the way, let's get it. Now, this situation here took place over 20 some odd years ago. It's about a Baltimore street legend, a legend within the Good Brother Circle, just an all-around outstanding member. So for video purposes, we're gonna call him Big Unc. Now, Big Unc was well off into his 70s, man. Big old head dude, waves, gray hair, gray beard, quiet, always cool, calm, and collective. And all the old heads will tell you, man, Unc was a savage back in his day. For some reason, he took a liking to me. Unc always hollered at me, you feel me? So when I was in that penitentiary, we was walking buddies. Big Unc, he liked to get a pack of sunflower seeds, walk around the yard, chop it up. And that's what we used to do. We used to walk around the yard. Unc always had a story for a nigga. Always had some shit to tell me about back in the day. So on this particular evening, we had night yard, right? In that big yard in that penitentiary. So we link up, we walk and talk, and he spitting and chewing seeds while he telling this story, right? And this story stuck out to me out of all the other stories he told me, right? So he said back in 72, he was in that pen over on the blocks, A block. He like, I mean, he was young back then. He was telling me like back then there wasn't no gangs, you feel me? Not in Maryland. All the young niggas used to just click tight when they come in there. I'm talking about all the young niggas. I don't care where you was from or who you knew or what, all the young niggas click tight. Had to. This man get to telling me, he like, man, that booty banding shit was real back in the day. He like, man, he get to telling me all them booty banding niggas was cocky, cut up, work out every day, and they did this intentionally so they could overpower their victims. Big swole niggas. So he get to telling me, he like, yeah, man, he had a thing back in the day where as though all the young niggas, no matter where you from, no matter what crew you with, if one of these old head niggas in here play with us, you gonna send them waiting here. And that's how they was getting down. So he was telling me like, man, we had dudes in there that ain't had no shame. I'm talking about catch you on the flats. In that penitentiary on the flats, because you know the penitentiary go up high, tiers. He say, man, there was a big nigga stepping on the bottom floor. And what he used to do was he catch a young nigga walking down the flats, give him a quick one-hitter quitter. Go ahead and drag you in the cell, put the curtain up on the window. Take that, take all he can take. Then get the door popped, throw you out the cell. Come out, make a bowl of hookup like ain't nothing happened. Meanwhile, you bleeding from the rib. I lied to you not. I don't say this was a regular thing going on in there. But what did they do? They made a pact, they got together, they said, man, if anybody fuck with them, they gonna send them up out of here. So long story short, Unc got to telling me, he say, man, back in the day when you used to come through DOC, they sent you to the penitentiary in a hospital gown. You had to walk through that pen in a hospital gown. And they say the dudes used to be catcalling and all that, snatching dudes in the cell and all that, man. It was wide open back then, it was wild back then. But he said this happened to his co-defendant, because they got separated. But they wasn't like together in there, in two different wings. Long story short, his co-defendant got snuffed out, drug up in the cell. So when he finds this out, Unc was gangster, you heard. Unc band his little click up, the hoppers he had with him, they go get them blicks. He said they take a fan blade and sharpen fan blade up back in the day. And I don't know if you know it, back in the day, they used to leave the cell doors open. You see what I'm saying? It's like you might walk down the tier, you might look at the dude's cell door wide open, you just lock the door when it's locking time. That's how they get drug up in themselves. That's why they don't do that no more. Doors stay locked all day now. But anyway, Unc say he got his crew out in the yard every day. Morning yard, afternoon yard, and night yard. They ain't missing no wreck, looking for dude that did that to his co-defendant. Unc say, man, they finally spotted the dude in the yard. They was closing the yard was closing, so they was taking everybody back in the building. Right, so it was a mass movement, everybody moving to go back in the building. Man, Unc say they spotted Slim, walked down on that man with the motherfucking blicks. Unc say they hit him so bad, they said man was out on his feet. Slim ended up going ahead and checked, bleeded him, and Unc went on ahead and caught a light bit behind that. He's supposed to have been with him. Caught a light bit behind that, had to ride for his rap buddy. But the whole time, he only had 10 years to begin with, now he got a life bit. But he said he had to do that to send a message across. Don't fuck with us. He sent a clear message. So after he told me that, I went in my cell and thought about that shit all night, yo. My man had 10 years, really had to defend his co-defendant. Caught a life bit. his co-defendant been home 20-something years. They was only co-defendants on that original charge when he had the 10 years. So he got life for defending his honor while they was incarcerated. And that man been home. That's crazy. He got to telling me, man, he say, man, dudes don't realize. A lot of dudes' fathers and uncles back in the day, man, they was getting tampered with. Only the true savages still got their respect from back then. You was around back then and you still got your respect. Shit, I remember one day we was out in the big yard. Unc was out there bitch pointing niggas out that he know got tampered with back in the day. No bullshit, we in the yard. Niggas walking around the yard. He like, yeah, him too. I remember him. Yep, they drug him in the shop. Crazy type shit back in the day. A lot of these old heads walking around with a big secret.